to the Morning Huddle here on KATX 97.7. We're live at the First Financial Bank lobby here in Eastland, and if you're out and about, listen to us. I invite you to stop by. I know by personal experience the peanut butter cookies are very good, so stop by and enjoy some cookies and find out about all things going on with Eastland Maverick football. We're now joined by Athletic Director, Head Football Coach Brian Hewlett. Coach Hewlett, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Ready to go again and hopefully have another good Friday after a wonderful Thursday.
A wonderful Thursday, and we'll get into that here in a little bit. But beforehand, let's talk about going to 7-0 last week. We traveled to Merkel. Mother Nature played a vicious trick on us. We left in the sunshine and the warmth, and we got off the bus in the wind and the rain and the cold.
Yeah, you know, it was you knew if you watched the weather it was going to come in at some point, but it just came in much greater, much stronger, probably even a little sooner than everyone anticipated. You know, everything we had read put it down in the 50s, maybe upper 40s with 15 to 18 mile an hour wind, and boy, lo and behold, it was 35, 40 miles. I think you told me it was 40 plus gusts at times. Brought in some rain beforehand, and so it was pretty nasty for a while. But I think I know our kids handled it well. And the good thing that we had is it blew in well before, or an hour and two before, and we got to get out there and get a little acclimated. Made our kids feel comfortable, and that really helped us out.
46 mile an hour gusts, I believe 48 degree temperature between 7 and 7:30, and that was, I feel sorry for our fans who had it blowing right in their face. Some of our fans spent part of their time in their car, but we won't call names out on that one. But anyway, it was a good win as the Mavericks go to 7-0 and stay undefeated in district. Let's talk a little bit about the game Friday night. Josh Moreland had a big night throwing the ball and running the ball. I think he completed, 10 of 14 or 11?
I think we're 12 of 16,
12 of
you know, and we talked about this on Monday. Our two best percentage-wise throwing and catching games have been in the rain and in the cold, windy weather. So, you know, that's a good sign that your kids are concentrating extra on those nights and take care of the ball. Played well. You know, got up big early, got up 3 touchdowns in the first quarter, and, you know, it's just human nature. I think you relax a little bit. Of course, the opponent's going to have some good plays, and then at times you get, you know, I think it's human nature, even from a refereeing standpoint, just to, you know, let's get this thing over with and get out of here. So just kind of settled in and, you know, kept that lead there through the second quarter, and then we come out second half just like we did to start. And before we know it, you know, we put up 2 more touchdowns, and so never really were threatened, but, you know, Merkel did a good job with their game plan and what they wanted to do, and you know, took the ball away from us at times, and you know, moved the ball somewhat, but it was still a good night to go to 7-0 and get the win.
Of course, one of the things that Merkel tries to do is limit the possessions of their opponent, especially someone like us that runs the spread offense and can score so quickly. I mean, time of possession heavily favored Merkel in that ball game. You know, so they did that, and they did force our first lost fumble of the year.
Yeah, a little disappointed in that. You know, we even talked about this last week. Hope we didn't jinx any of that. Of course, there it goes. We were up 20-0 driving with, I guess, midway, maybe 7 minutes. It's going to be about 7 minutes to go in the second quarter, and have a chance to put it at 28-0 and lose a fumble at the 5-yard line. You know, so that was a little bit disappointing that we did that. So. You know, but we were able to respond. They went on a long drive, about a 6+ minute drive there, and made a big play, last play of the half, keep them out of the end zone, you know, which they were aided by a couple of first down moving penalties on the drive that helped out. So, but it was good to keep them out of the end zone before half, and then come back out in the second half and get going again.
Let's talk a little bit about the defensive side of football. Defense seems to be improving week after week.
Yeah, you know, Not that we didn't want them to move the ball whatsoever the other night, but, you know, they never really threatened us with the big play. Because of some injuries, we had to change a little bit what we were doing, and, you know, we probably weren't in the best defense that you could draw up to stop the midline and veer and grind it out, but it was what we felt like was the best for us for that week. And so had some kids step in that hadn't been playing a lot, and really, you know, changed our scheme slightly just to accommodate healthy bodies. And so, you know, we did a good job at you know, I think the point we're trying to get is we did a good job stopping them with what we had out there in the position we had them. And you know, so played it's more of a 7-man front versus a running team as opposed to an 8-man front. So I was really proud of what our kids did.
You mentioned a little beat up and having some people in some different positions. How did we come out of last week health-wise? How are we looking going into tonight health-wise?
Oh, about the same, you know, just not there yet. You know, we feel very good long-term right now, and that's hoping that nothing happens and planning on nothing happening tonight or anything, but we won't be at full strength tonight. You know, that's a lot of concern just from a coaching standpoint. Obviously, you like to go out there healthy, but it's like I told the kids yesterday, you know, some of you going to get some opportunities that you hadn't been getting. You know, make the most of them and prove that you can do it. That's why you've been working hard. Let's go out there and handle it. And, you know, as we always tell them, they probably get tired of me saying this, nobody cares. Dublin sure doesn't care if we're injured. Nobody in our district does. I guarantee you, above all, we're the team in the district that nobody really cares that's hurt. You know, when you hadn't lost in a couple of years in district, they want the worst for you and get every opportunity they can to defeat you. So we just got prepared for it and go on.
Sort of have that target on your back,
And chest.
And chest and legs and
Yep.
and everywhere else in there. Any bringing up anybody from JV for this week?
Nope, we're
Status quo.
We're going to keep at it, keep plugging. We're going to bring one back from last week and take one out from this week and just, you know, keep plugging them in and keep going and playing and doing what we can do.
All right, Coach, before we take our first break, and you may or may not, I'm sure you have heard about this, but I'm just going to throw this out here. A ball game down with Alito got national attention last week. They won 91-0. You've been in positions where you could have scored a bunch of points. But from listening to that coach at Alito, I don't think he was trying to score points. It's just he wasn't going to ask his kids not to score.
Yeah, you know, and I think we're even a little bit different than Alito, you know, or of a big school, which that's all those kids do. You know, it's the only sport they play, and it's so much harder because you don't get the mercy of running the clock as much sometimes, although they did. I think in that game in a 48-minute game, Alito had 7 minutes possession. The other team had 41 minutes. If you just go study the facts and the stats of it and listen to the opposing coach talk, you know, that Alito was kind of, from the way that sounds, should be or could be praised for keeping it as close as they did. And, you know, and I know no coach really wants it to get out of hand. You said we could have had some get out of hand. We were up, I think, 47-0 with over 6 minutes to go in the second quarter once this year. You know, we could have got there very easily, and you don't want to. But sometimes you don't prevent it. You know, I know once when I was in high school, we ended up beating a team 73-0. It was 73-0 in the third quarter, and 4 of those, our last 4 touchdowns came on fumble, interception, and punt returns. You know, and you don't plan for those things. Just nothing you can do, and you don't ask or tell your kids to lay down. Don't go score or run out of bounds. So just a difficult thing when you got one of the best in the state playing, and I don't even know is one of Fort Worth schools. I think Western Hills probably. You know, I don't know how great they are, but
only 30 players on the roster.
Yeah, those things run in. It happens sometimes.
And sort of crazy that it received so much attention, and that was precipitated by a parent.
You know, that's what we're talking about. I think you could almost every week in the state of Texas find an 80-90 nothing score. You know, and I bet if you went across the U.S., you're going to find that just about every week. You know, it's kind of odd, I guess, the internet and the ability to jump on there and do some things probably made this story run. But you know, I know that's not the first time it's ever been a score like that.
Well, the coach down at Refugio, and he makes no apologies for beating teams bad. He says that he's getting his team prepared to run for a state championship.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's just kind of odd that took such precedence.
All right, Coach, we're going to take our first break. When we come back, we'll talk about Thursday night football. You're listening to the Morning Huddle on KTX Sports. The sub-varsity teams, they were split up, one going to Abilene, one going to Dublin.
Yeah, our JV Black headed over to Abilene, played one of Wiley's crews, and had a good night. You know, kind of rolling halftime up 29-0, and then Wiley had a bad injury the first play of the second half. Had a kid hurt his arm pretty bad, and just from a long delay, a 45-plus minute delay.
Wow.
Before they got back going again, ended up winning 36-6. Kind of just kind of kills things when you got to sit there for such a long time, particularly with 14-year-old boys. But good job. We've said all year with that crew, just got to keep plugging and keep going. And they went through a stretch here where they lost a couple of games and not used to it. And here we bounced back and won 3 in a row, playing well. We had a couple of kids last night. Fernando Beltran and Tom Montgomery got their first ever touchdowns, and that's always good for those kind of kids to have. And I noticed the last couple of weeks our linemen up front. Tyler Gwynn's really had a good year, but Trevor Burris and Jacob Simpson and Peyton Bird and Jacob Davis have really started playing a lot better. And so it shows. And then Parker Roberts is settling into a quarterback role after we've had to move some quarterbacks around. He's doing a good job of making himself better.
And your other JV team was at Dublin.
We went to Dublin with our JV Red, and I think they won 34-7. One of those games that we got up real big early and just kind of finished the game out and ended up winning. Really never was threatened. I think they had one drive where they obviously scored and got a couple of first downs, but the rest of the night I think they had 2 first downs on the whole night. So guys played well and walked away with another victory. They've only got 1 loss on the year. Played poorly one week and probably against a good opponent, but got 2 games left and want to finish the year strong with those guys.
The junior high teams were here.
Yeah, and it's nice to once again to get to play just one school. We had 3 games against Dublin here, and it's also nice to get to play a school that's more closely related to your size. When you're not playing the towns like a Clyde or Breckenridge, got a lot more kids, and when you get them spread out amongst 3 teams, they can kind of bully you at times. We kind of got to be closer to the bullier, if you will, last night, and beat Dublin 16-0, 6-0, and 18-8, I believe. All 3 games were relatively close. Maybe shouldn't have been at times, but the other team playing well. But really proud of our guys. Had to work through a few things through all games, but to come out with 3 victories is nice.
Very nice indeed. And next week, what's the schedule look like for Thursday?
Next week we got 2 junior highs at Comanche. I believe we're starting at 5 o'clock. Our 7 Red at 5 and our 8 followed by that. And then we've got just 1 JV here. JV Red's playing Comanche. I had to get back with you officially on the time, but I believe we're going to go at 5 on that. Our JV Black was set to play early, but they canceled on us earlier this week, and our junior high Black Comanche doesn't have enough right now, so we'll continue to look through those things through early Monday morning so we can get it out to the parents as quick as we can. But hard this time of year when you're 2 weeks from the end of the year. Injuries and failures have mounted up on a lot of people, and it's really hard to go find those games. So we're going to continue to do our best. If we can't find them, we'll try to move as many kids up and just to get as much playing time in as we can. But as of right now, that's what we got.
And I know, Coach, we've talked about this several times over the past few years, but those extra games for these extra teams are so important because there's still a feeder system to the varsity level coming up down the road in a few years, and some of these kids playing on these other teams are going to end up being contributors at the varsity level.
Always, there's you finish the year and almost always look at the number of seniors we have finished played at a lower level at some point somewhere in their career. There's as many as those as there are that started right off the box, right out of the box and just played the whole time. So, it's always important just to keep those kids going, keep them getting game time, keep them getting practice time and staying in it.
Coach, let's take a look at some scores from last week in our district. Clyde 24, Dublin 7. They tacked on a late field goal near the end of the game to make it a 24-7 final. That game was fairly close throughout.
Yeah, I know, and that's what I keep trying to. That's what's got me so worried right now is that the Dublin that our kids have known pretty much their whole. I don't know how you say it, adolescent, teen, careers, whatever. It's not the Dublin that it is right now, and you gotta tune that out and tell them ignore the town and ignore the parents and ignore, it's just Dublin talk. And it could have been a different game. I think the deciding factor probably in that game, as we alluded to earlier, was the weather. And just the fact that the weather came in the middle of that game. and it really hampered both teams' passing attack, and it proved in the end that Clyde was a better rushing team than Dublin, and Dublin really didn't have the answer to push that over the top and get the victory.
Breckenridge gets their first district win. It's a big one, 68-19 over Jim Ned.
Yeah, I mean, that was an odd game. I think Jim Ned was up 13-0 at one point. And going in, it was a total toss-up to who we felt like would win. And I think Breckenridge, and we've kind of talked about from the start today, a couple of linemen and a quarterback out for a considerable amount of time. They got the quarterback back last week, and I think that really helped them as much emotionally as anything. You know, I know he played well too, but, you know, it said he missed several throws and just obviously wasn't as sharp as you would be, especially since he hadn't played in a month plus, you know. But having him out there, your leader and your quarterback, probably just settled them down, and Brett got it rolling there in the second half.
Our cross-county team, the Cisco Lobos, they stayed 7 or go to 7-0 also. They beat Coleman 47-7.
Yeah, I think Coleman's probably the last
big threat.
Any threat, let's say, to them for the rest of the district. You know, they've got it going right now and doing a great job and just continue to play. And you know, I think the big thing with them is just hopefully continue to get better and get some practice, but try to stay healthy along the way and get ready for playoffs.
Other district games tonight for Eastland, or in Eastland's district, Comanche at Clyde. That's a big
big game, you know. And I'll sit here and tell you right now, it's total toss-up if you ask me. I think a couple of the things that you look at is Clyde's at home. They've really played well at home this year, and Comanche's coming off a bye week. That's a scary thing for them, if you ask me. You know, we felt like we played pretty poor off our bye week at Jim Ned. Then you turn around and look at Jim Ned off their bye week last week, gave up 68 to Breck. And you look at Dublin off of their bye week, gave up 61 to Comanche. So track record right now says in our district, taking that bye week's not good. So Comanche's really on a roll since that Cisco game, in which they played well against Cisco. They've just been firing on all cylinders. So that's an interesting game tonight.
Merkel versus Jim Ned, another interesting ball game. Merkel looking for their first district win, as is Jim Ned.
Guys, it's same thing, you know, as we just talked about there. You know, it's an important game for both those teams are still alive for playoffs, and you know, Jim Ned hadn't shown the ability to play very good on the road yet, but they're back at home again. Merkel has played really well at home and had played great on the road, and in the past few years played really good against Jim Ned. So, you know, it's just a couple of honestly interesting games in our district tonight.
And, of course, Cisco is on the road, I believe, at Hamilton. Hamilton coming off a win at Colorado City last week, so I'm surprised there.
Yeah, you know, and Hamilton's got kids are always big, and they're going to usually they play well against spread teams because they control the ball so well. And, you know, honestly, in the past, going back all the way to, I guess, 2004, Hamilton has always played Cisco very closely. You know, I think even the year Cisco was in the finals a couple years ago, I think that was a 6-0 game or a close game. But I just think Cisco's way too good this year for even, you know, Hamilton or anybody giving problems.
With the offenses those two schools run, I told Coach West he might get back in time to watch our fourth quarter.
He might. I've already told our kids, remember the Grandview game. I hope there's not near that many points, at least on that one side, but it could be one of those long nights with how Dublin does things.
All right, Coach, we're going to take our final break. When we come back, we'll talk about the Dublin Lions. You're listening to the Morning Huddle on KTX Sports. And welcome back to the Morning Huddle live from First Financial Bank. Our final segment coming up, and we're going to talk about the Dublin Lions. And, of course, one of the good guys in coaching down there, Coach Cervetto. I mean, there's a lot of good guys in coaching. Not meaning there's not, but Coach Cervetto is one of those guys that always upbeat, always happy. He's taken over a program. He's in his third season, I believe, at the helm of the Lions. And starting to see some of the fruits of his efforts come out on the field this year.
Yeah, Coach Cervetto spent, I don't know, 28, 29, 30 years somewhere in there. Sorry, Coach Cervetto, but a lot of years at Stephenville and been around some good stuff, some good football, good program. But more than that, you know, he's just a unique individual as far as he's in the right business for him because he cares about kids and cares about people, and you see how he treats people, in which goes a long way to how the kids respond to him and the program that they're building over there.
And one of the big things that he's been able to do, and similar to what you were able to do when you first came to Eastland, the numbers are up.
Yeah, they struggled for our, going back 4, 5, 6 years here when we were playing them, they always struggled just to have a JV. I mean, literally have 2 high school teams or to have more than 1 junior high team, and there's years they didn't. So last night, I guess, they played us in 3 junior high teams and a JV. And so, and just being able, as we talked about many times on Fridays, over the long haul, just keeping kids out and playing games, they're going to get better. And it'll pay off eventually. Sometimes, especially in the year 2013, everybody wants it to happen yesterday. It doesn't always happen that way, but eventually it'll pay off, and it's starting to pay off now.
4 wins on the year so far for the Lions, and a district win, which I haven't looked back to see, but I'm guessing the first district win in 4, 5, 6 years.
There's several years. I don't know. I saw a stat on it, I think, but I don't know how long ago, but several years anyway.
Offensively, they're going to throw the ball right at us.
Yeah, they are. They've kind of calmed down. And don't. Not critiquing, and him and I have even had this conversation, kind of calm down with what they've been doing over the last couple of years as far as the wildness, if you will, of what they were doing offensively. They were pretty out there for a while, and just settled in on 2 or 3 or 4 things and have found their way to do that, and they're doing it well. Now, they're going to be, when you walk out there tonight, you're going to see probably the best looking team in pads in our district. Just big, good-looking, strong, athletic kids. They're going to have 3 receivers that are in the 6'2", 6'3", 185, 190-pound range. Big, long, 6'3", 240-pound linemen. Just good kids that have bought into what they're doing, and they're throwing the ball, but they're not abandoning the run, and so you've got to. They're doing a lot of double reading stuff where they're calling run plays and tagging it with passes, and so you got to really be aware of what's going on. The first time you fall asleep on one of that, they'll split you through the middle, and they put their best kid, I think it's a junior now, maybe only a sophomore, about 6'3", 190 in the slot, and if you step up on the run, he sneaks behind you, and they hit him with the ball, he's going to take it to the house, and then with the height outside, it's always scary. They can just throw the ball up and go up, make a play over you. So very dangerous on offense.
And defensively, what can we expect from them?
It's kind of a good question. They've played a myriad of offenses, man. They've played a double tight, double wing team. They've played a slot T team. They've played a wing T team. They've played a spread run team. They've played spread pass teams. And so you see something different every week. But the consistency is being whatever they've decided to do. And it's not wholesale changes, mind you. But you're not going to play a 99% run team the same as you'd play an 80% pass team. So the consistency's being whatever they start with, they've pretty much stuck with and known their plan for the week of what they're going to do and stayed with it. So just like on the offensive side of the ball, you're going to have those good athletic receivers in the back end, and then they've pretty much kept them deep and kept everything in front of them and made you make plays and drive the ball down the field. So just playing good football overall right now.
Coach, during our break, we had the conversation about length of games, and that's something that you obviously pay no attention to. The fans pay a little more attention to. If you will remember last year at Dublin, though, I will talk about the length of game because I was on top of the press box without a jacket because Servetto had told me I had a place in the press box, and it was like 11 o'clock when we got out there.
Yeah, it was a
penalty fest.
It was a penalty. Yeah, it was an interesting night, just from the penalty standpoint. And I remember the refs kept telling me something about the time of the game as well. And I had this comment. I said, guys, we've tried to run the ball. Literally every time in the second quarter we've called a running play, you've called a holding. What do you want us to do? Run the ball so you can call a holding, or throw it and we might throw an incompletion? So thinking back, it was a long night.
And my favorite is whenever a team's already in victory formation, and then And the game
delay
out of
game.
hand, or illegal substitution,
Yeah.
illegal participation, stop the clock, let's do it again. I've seen that this year.
We got one of those delay of game last week, so we're trying to milk the clock and run it out. Use some common sense there. But I'll tell you what, I'll take a short game, a long game, or a game in between, just as long as we've got more points than them.
At the end, as long as you get the W. Good luck tonight, Coach. Thanks for joining us. Thanks to my engineer back in studio, Matthew Householder. Thank you for your time. This time till next time, I'm Chase Slavens. Have a fabulous weekend, everyone.